Welcome back to WCS America Challenger League and to Desrow versus Apocalypse. Right now, the Canadian Desrow leads 2-1 as we get ready to hop into Daedalus Point, our fourth map in this series where Desi has a chance to clinch it. Before we hop into game, I want to send everybody over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/StarCraft. Send us a like. You'll have a chance to earn some Blizzard swag at some point down the road. Not today, necessarily.
In the far, far future.
But at some point, there will be a reason that you'll want to have liked StarCraft
Legacy of the Void updates
on Facebook.
That will be nice.
Yeah, and maybe even some other cool things.
Maybe some slick invitations.
The Facebook StarCraft Facebook talks about lots of cool stuff. I was checking it out earlier today. I was like, hey, I think I'm going to like this page.
Did you?
Not yet.
You're terrible at your job. So you're actually on the page and you didn't like it?
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at it on Cameron's account, so I couldn't click for Cam.
Okay.
You know.
Good save there. Good save. Proper save, buddy. Daedalus Point is going to be our next map, and this is a map where we've seen Desrow perform very well in that matchup that's so often spoken about. ZVP on this map. This time is going to be a TVP. To be honest, man, I haven't played a whole lot of TVPs on this map. I've played a few, but most of the time when I play this map, I get a Zerg opponent.
Yeah, well, let's hop in the game and see what happens. As we can see, spawning up in the top left-hand corner, we've got the red Terran player. He's trailing 1-2, but he's shown us some great play so far. He is IVD's Apocalypse. And I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of this change. This spinning... Wow, that was cool. Wow, camera settings do weird things if you do mouse actions. Okay, now we know. Anyway, bottom right-hand corner of the map. The blue Protoss player, the Canadian, his name is Desrow.
And such a positive surprise to see how Desrow has played so far
Absolutely.
today. In game one, he fell apart a little bit very early on, perhaps a little nervous because this is a really big best of 5 for him as well. If he makes it into Premier League, that would be the first time in his career, and how awesome would that be for him against a pretty well-established player like Apocalypse, who has had land success in his career, has had a lot of WCS success last season as well, when it was very stacked, very top. Apocalypse showed us some absolutely fantastic games, even against some of the biggest names in the scene that we have. So it would just be a massive victory for Desrow. And he has 2 match points, man. 2 maps to do it.
Yep. Now, he got a little bit crazy last game, opening up with a 10 gate, transitioning into a ridiculous Blink Stalker all off of one base. Managed to make it work. But he's also shown us that he's perfectly capable of playing to the late game. I think Desrow has got tremendous range as a StarCraft player. He's shown us that he can play both styles. He can play the late game. He can play the cheesy game.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised by how solid he was on Frost. Because that was he was playing that with so much courage, like I said before, and he looked never really in that much danger. There was one moment where this could be tough, and then he just dropped those storms, and I was like, storm good unit. And then a little bit later I was like, but this is the phase in the game where it normally gets really tough. Nope, just wiped in a bunch of zealots, took excellent positioning, and he just looked so solid.
Yeah, he's played some great StarCraft today. And as you pointed out, he's got 2 chances to make it to the Premier League. He's getting a great scout with this early probe, seeing that there is no gas in the main base of Apocalypse. Apocalypse getting away from the Reaper opening that he's been favoring, and instead going 1 Rax fast expand.
Back to the Wings of Liberty routes.
Daedalus is a tricky map for a multitude of reasons. The biggest one being the ridiculous size of this ramp and just this natural in general. It can be very frustrating for players in the Zerg matchups, but I don't know how it's going to play out here in TVP. I haven't seen that many TVPs on this map.
A single bunker is definitely not enough to cover everything, so it could be a kind of okay for Blink Stalkers as well, especially because there's a little bit of surface area to blink into the main base too. But I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. I don't think the Desrow is going to play too crazy. He has shown us on Frost that he is definitely capable of playing a very normal straight-up game, and I think against this no-gas fast expand opening from Apocalypse, we're just going to see a very straight-up TVP here.
Yeah, Desrow looks very comfortable and confident as he plants his own Nexus and begins pressing forward, setting up his mid-game. We've seen him play with Colossi. We've seen him play High Templar, Archon styles. I'm not sure which one he's going to opt for here, but I would love to see Desrow go for the early forges and get those early upgrades rolling, just because it seems to really favor his preference of late-game gateway-centric StarCraft.
Yeah, and the way that he spreads out pylons across the map as well just makes sense for me, that he opens up with Twilight once more. Not sure if he wants to actually commit. Like, you can open up with Blink Stalkers and just be defensive. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually a style that I like to play as well. But you can always be aggressive as well. But the moment you start being aggressive, then you also have to cut some economy. Otherwise it falls somewhere in between, and then it's just like not scary enough to deal damage, but still slows you down enough to not be you know, easy to transition out of. He's gonna send his first probe already across the map. This SCV won't get anything done. He does see the Stalker. What are we gonna get, Desrow? Maybe Dark Templars even?
Man, did you see this Hydralisk autopsy that's happening?
When? DTs. Oh, what an unfortunate scan. You should really show that scan. It's not gonna see the Twilight Council. It's also not gonna see the Dark Shrine. He has absolutely no idea what he's playing against. And because this is such a big ramp, it can be hard to wall off, and there should always be like a way for DTs to wiggle their way through. At least the majority of the time.
This is going to be tricky for Apocalypse. He's got the bunker at the front. He's getting a second bunker at the front just based on seeing nothing, I guess. As we see it, take a look at the vision that APOC does have. He sees just the gateway. He saw the pylon that the Twilight was built on, but that is all that he saw. So he's trying to figure it out. And look at the great game sense of Apocalypse. Yeah, now you're looking at the Hydralisk autopsy. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought for a second it was Kerrigan laying there.
Turret going up at the front, so there will be detection in place here for Apocalypse. So
it helps a lot, but what Desrow should do is, like, I'm not sure if he's going to try to peek one more time with the Stalker. If he knows there is a Mr., he should just not review his Dark Templars yet. Wait until Apocalypse decides to move out, then send your DTs in. Then there is a big chance that one of them will sneak by.
DTs could literally go up this ramp and be out of range of that bunker. The turret would probably spot them, but
yeah, the detection range is pretty big.
It'd be very hard to kill them before they get in. There's also a Warp Prism being built, and this is what I was kind of hoping to see from Desrow after that Dark Shrine went down, was the Warp Prism, because it gives him just that extra kick to his attack here. There's no detection up here in the main base.
It's getting so much more popular to not just be greedy with Dark Templar openings, but also be greedy with a Warp Prism follow, especially in PvP, because often, you know, in the old days... this is really good news for APOC though, because now he knows. He's still going to take some damage.
He's got no scan.
Okay, that's annoying.
So
but he can at least like keep his main safe for now and start dropping a missile turret in the main as well. He drops one on top of his ramp. So this is okay for APOC. He's going to lose quite a bit of mining time. This DT is definitely not useless. It could have been without worse. It could have died immediately.
There's still no energy for scan, and it's going to be a few seconds yet. So this Dark Templar is very frustrating in the natural expansion.
He was building a missile turret on top of his ramp, and then he cancelled it.
Yeah, and has nothing in place to deal with the Warp Prism that's making its way over to the main base. Now, finally a scan goes down to kill the Dark Templar and the natural, but that means that there's not going to be any energy in the main base. 45, 46, 47, so soon there'll be enough energy for a scan in the main. Okay,
he's throwing down a missile turret immediately as well, so now scan will go down. He's going to pick up that DT. This could have all been a little worse.
But there's a second Dark Templar, and if you can pick off that building turret...
Maybe it is a reactor.
Oh, Desrow, I feel like you're prioritizing this wrong.
No, DT.
Yeah, he's going to pick off that reactor, but he's not going to be able to do any work to the mineral line.
Man, the detection range wasn't as big as I thought it would be.
Sliced a Marine in half, but that is the end of it.
He doesn't see this DT either. I really thought it was bigger than that.
So, frustrating opening for Apocalypse to deal with here from Desrow, but...
behind this, Desrow is just prone and boosting out probes like a madman. He's losing one Blink Stalker at home, but there's just no way that APOC can really commit to being aggressive on the other side of the map. Do something about Desrow probing out. The moment he does that, he's gonna lose everything in his main base. And he has and if he leaves too much behind, he has too little to actually move out. Desrow is doing this fantastic. This is really working out well for him, and he's putting himself in a great position. And this is gonna be tough, man, for Apocalypse to play from this one.
Look at this probe. How does a probe get here? You are lost, little fella.
He's keeping a close eye on the tech lab.
Excuse me.
And the fact that he also killed that reactor, like I didn't even mention it. I saw him working on it, but that's a huge pickup as well. That means slow medevac production, slow potential Viking production. There's just no way that Apocalypse can be very aggressive behind this.
This probe
sees like those additional Rexes as well. Just sees everything.
Finally, he's gonna get shut down. So
a couple of Zealots being dropped in the main base.
And at the same time, Apocalypse is sitting a drop to the back of Desrow's natural expansion. So drop harass happening on both sides of the map. Lots of SCVs are going to go down in the main base of Apocalypse. I don't think Apocalypse realizes what's happening, taking a long time to react to that.
This is a disaster scenario. Disaster game so far for APOC. Fantastic game for Desrow. Desrow should know that he's in an absolutely dream economic position. He's also working off double forge, so eventually his upgrades will more than catch up. Should even be able to overtake his opponent. He can just comfortably go up to 3 bases soon and have the time of his life.
No, well, he's going to start setting up to plant that 3rd base. There's the 3rd Nexus going down right now. APOC is out on the map with the units that he has, but I gotta say, man, Desrow is starting to put together a pretty formidable army. He's got 2 Colossi already.
Yeah, he just needs a few Zealots to actually soak up those Marauder shots, and because right now he doesn't really have a whole lot of sentries, and Marauders are very good in this scenario when there's nothing to protect those Colossus.
This is a questionable engagement here. Desrow realizing that he cannot fully engage and is going to be forced to cancel this 3rd base.
Yeah, Desrow needs some meat shields. Colossus are absolutely awesome against this no Viking APOC guy, and this is not all that bad though, because APOC's 3rd command center is still super late. Okay, Desrow tried to get away with a very quick turret, but apparently all those DTs did take away some of his potential army. But the moment he gets a few Zealots to soak up some damage, he should still be more than fine.
Yeah. He's warping in more and more Zealots now. Has he gotten charge yet? He does have charge, so not only will he be able to take this 3rd base on the back of this Zealot warp in, but also he's going to be able to get aggressive pretty soon, as as we see Desrow just chasing Apocalypse across the map right now. Oh, aggressive blink onto the medevac. One medevac is going to go right down, so Desrow going for the jugular right now. Feels like maybe he can do a little bit of damage. Apocalypse speeding across the map with a medevac. Wants to try and deal a little bit of counter damage, but somehow Desi just knows it's there. Or maybe this is just an opportune Zealot warp.
I think that was an accidental Zealot. So he's going to lose a few probes here. That sucks a little bit. Where is that Mothership Core? Mothership Core is still kind of far out of position, so there's 1 Colossus going to have to save the day. This is good. At the same time, armies engaging in the middle of the map. Time Warp went down. A few Marines died immediately. APOC has just very little to work with, and you know, Desrow really doesn't have to be aggressive. He's working off that double forge. He's getting Thermal Lance. He already has Twilight Tech, so it's going to be easy for him to transition into Storm as well. Desrow just needs to not take damage, and then he's going to be ahead.
More DT harass coming into the main base as Desrow is going to start picking off add-ons with this Dark Templar. So frustrating dealing with the continued Dark Templar harass. Apocalypse having a hard time finding openings. Great defensive play from Desrow. I got to say, he's really done a phenomenal job of dealing with all of the threats that Apocalypse has thrown his way. Now there's Zealots in the main base of Apocalypse. This Warp Prism creating some real headaches for our Terran player.
Man, those +2 Zealots are really going to town right now in these SUVs. SUVs will fall like flies. There are a few Zealots in the turret as well. APOC has just never been able to comfortably mine of what he would like to do. The only thing is that Desrow lost a few probes as well, and he kind of stopped pro production in a certain phase in the game. Meanwhile, there are 2 Marauders being annoying, picking up a few workers, but not before. The medevac will go down, and those Marauders will go down as well. Desrow is setting himself up so good.
Everything feels so strong for Desrow. The supplies don't really tell the tale. It's 125 to 124.
Yeah,
but
there are 35 Marines against 4 Colossus. Those Marines are going to be kind of borderline useless. The only thing that
Oh, and still the DT harass continues. Desrow is going to be able to catch this building. Missile turret scan is going to go down. But the Dark Templar, no, it does not manage to escape.
Ooh, and there were DTs and Zealots in the main as well, almost picking up that turret. That would have been super frustrating for Apocalypse, but he keeps the turrets alive barely on like 5 or 10 HP. Desrow has to be a little bit careful that he doesn't throw away too many units, because at the end of the day it's not all for free, and he's not on like a booming 4-base economy. He has a solid 3-base economy, but he doesn't have Storm yet, so he can't throw away too much. But overall, this has all been really excellent harassment.
Viking count very important at this stage in the game. 4 Colossi, 6 Vikings. 6 Vikings can deal with 4 Colossi eventually. But how much damage?
Oh,
whoa, the blink on top of the Vikings is just phenomenal. The Zealots are out of position though. Colossi have to be able to focus on these Marines. Apocalypse immediately lifts that command center and says, you know what, I don't even want to fight right now. And he's going to retreat back to his natural.
And that's a hard decision to make as well, man. Tournament life on the line for Apocalypse, a player who was successful in WCS 2013 and has shown a really good, excellent multiple good showings of himself. I have no idea where I want to go with that, but either way, he had a great 2013. And
he's good at StarCraft.
Yes, he's very good, but he's kind of on the ropes right now, Ben. Abandoning your third base in this phase of the game, that's painful, that's almost deadly. Look at those 3-3 upgrades at the production tab that are about to finish up for Desrow, while Apocalypse is working on his 2-2. +1 is not even ready yet for the Vikings. This is looking so good.
Oh, medevac gonna get shot down by a cannon as Desrow continues to stop any attempts at aggression into his base and continues to have just a stranglehold on this game. We can see Apocalypse has once again landed his third expansion. But
I mean,
man,
Apac's best chance right now is just to sit back. Like, there's no way that he's gonna have like a good moment to walk across the map and win. He's producing a lot of Vikings. I'm not sure if he wants to play without ghosts or not, but now the first Archons are being warped in as well, and I think Storm is I don't think he researched it yet, right?
No Storm.
I don't. Desrow is very trigger happy. He really wants to win this game, and he's in a great position. He does have an upgrade advantage, but still, I think if he sits back, he's going to be in an even better position, because there's no way that Apocalypse is going to have the economy to get a lot of ghost out. Desrow is also going up to a fort base. This is still a very scary army, and there's a realistic chance that Desrow is going to win the game right here. If he doesn't mess up, this might be Desrow's moment to make his way into Premier League.
12 Vikings and a great concave here for Apocalypse. Perhaps the final fight. What's going to happen? The Zealots charging forward. Colossi doing good damage, but that's great army control from Apocalypse. The Vikings are thinning out the Colossus numbers very quickly, but the Archons and the Zealots cannot be stopped. Look at the supplies. Desrow up at 135 supply against 40. Apocalypse has lost every fighting unit he has. Good game.
What a
Desrow makes it to Premier League. Man, that's got to feel so great for Desrow and Desrow fans everywhere.
That's so nice for him. What a fantastic series. It showed us a wide variety of playstyles as well. Showed us different openings in multiple games. And just in the end, so solid with those 3-3 attack. That was a beautiful, in the end, engagement as well. He had a bigger army, but still, against all the SCVs that were being pulled, it could still be kind of tricky. But just a really solid performance by Desrow. And it's awesome to see him make it into WCS Premier League against a very well-established player like Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Excellent play from Desi. Apocalypse, of course, a painful loss. Is going to be a little bit sad about it, but this is what WCS is all about, man, giving guys like Desrow a chance to rise to the occasion, and he has